Where's the Quest tutorial 207? You've watched the entirety of the tutorial already? Yes, I have.
Okay, so first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the mesh, right? We're gonna open this up until you find something called material, right? You click tab, right? You click tab, then you click on here, select, and then you shift H, and then you do shift D, you right click, then separate, selection, right? And then we're gonna click on this mesh. This is the base mesh. Then we're gonna hide that. And what we're going to do is we're gonna click N. Make sure you have the mesh selected. Right, click on here. Then click N. And I'm guessing you have outline helper. So you click add/adjust outline. Get the modifiers. And what I usually like doing is I like setting my outlines to 0.001. And I was like, oh no, why does it look like my grandma? Because there's something called offset. And if you set that to 1 instead of -1, it'll look like this. And now, what we are going to do is we're going to test something. If you have eyes closed shape key, if you don't know what that is, there's something called data. And if you go into here, you'll see something called shape keys. And then you set this value to 100. You're like, oh no, why is there black things here? Well, the outline's clipping from the vertices going into each other, if you can see, like that. So what I want you to do, I want you to click 3. Right here, there's 3 selection modes. This one, I usually prefer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top here. We're going to scroll down, and then you'll find something called X-ray. Then we're going to hold shift and select all these. I'm going to do it for the other side as well. Remember, hold shift and select all these. And if you don't know how I got this little circle thing, at the top right here, you'll have a select box. All you need to do is click W, and you'll have this. So did what I did, and then after, you'll turn off X-ray mode again, and you'll see, oh, if you have these, then you'll do the same thing. Then you'll hold shift again, do those, do the ones over here. The next part we're gonna do is we're gonna click X to delete, and then we're gonna do faces, right? And then we're gonna scroll up. We're gonna get out of edit mode, turn off X-ray. Remember, the X-ray is this little 2 boxes. And then we're gonna go to data. We're gonna turn this off. We're gonna scroll all the way up. And you're gonna click on base, right? And if you have another plugin, right? If you click on here, shape key specials, you should have something called apply modifiers. And if you don't, I will give that to you. So you click this. You have something called OH_outline. I'm gonna click that, and then I'm gonna click OK. And then for me, I already did this, but your outline will look like this. So what I want you to do is click, go to materials, then go to outline, then go to, probably don't have this, so you gotta click on there should be like a little yellow dot, or where, okay, this yellow dot, image texture, and then, create a black, but, let me, okay, now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same process, so make this black, new image, there you go, voila. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna click material, and then we're gonna click tab, which is edit mode, click W a few times to get back to the box. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on this, and then click select, right? Then, we're gonna right click, separate, first, make sure you don't have anything other selected, then you click select, right click, separate by selection. Now we're gonna click tab to get out of object, or edit mode. And then we're gonna remove this one, because this is dead space, click delete. And then after, we're gonna unhide the regular face, and then hold shift, click that, and then right click, and then join. Now voila, you have your outline. Now I will warn you, if you're using a Goku model, there will be a little fuck ups on this part right here. Like the nose, the outlines, and they're usually not visible if you don't have outlines. But, yeah, if you do, then be careful for that. And if you don't know how to use bunch shapes, then you'll know how to, like, fix it. But, yeah, that's how you add outlines for Quest.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Avatar tutorials, and today I'm going to show you how to upload your avatar completely and seamlessly to Quest. Okay, first things first, you're going to want to make sure that on your project for VRChat, it's going to be called Easy Quest Switch. You're going to need this so you can switch your avatars from PC to Android. It will automate some changes, and it also make it more simple, really. I know it more applies to Worlds, but I found out that when I have Easy Quest Switch off, it takes a lot longer for it to switch platforms. But, anywho, and how you switch platforms is you go to your VRChat SDK, and you're going to see down here at your platforms, and then click here, unclick Windows, and click on Android, close the drop-down, and it's going to ask a little confirmation thing. Hit confirm, and it might take a second, but you're going to load into your Quest build mode. Okay, and once you're here, it's going to see, it's telling you, Avatar uses unsupported shader, blah 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 blah, Arc System Works game, blah 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 blah, DNF Dual opaque. You can only use shaders provided in the VRChat mobile for Quest avatars. So, basically what this is telling you is that some shaders you have in your hierarchy here is incompatible with the platform you're uploading to. So, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that. You have all these materials here that you created for appearance on the avatar. So, easiest way that I do it is I duplicate the folder with Control D, and now I have complete duplicates that are completely separate from the ones in here. And I select all of them by clicking them and holding shift and clicking the other side, clicking on shader, and you see what I was talking about in the SDK. You have to go to VRChat and mobile. Now, all of these shaders are what you can use inside of Quest builds. Typically, what people use is either matcaplet or Toon Standard. I recommend Toon Standard just because it's basically matcaplet, but you can just set the matcaps automatically. So, basically how it works is it creates a flat material. As you can see, if I select the skin, it's a flat material until you go down here to shading, which is inside lighting. Change it from flat to either realistic, realistic soft, realistic very soft, or the Toon shaders. These ones are the ones that are going to get it most accurate, the Arc System Works shader we used in the previous tutorial. So, what I'm going to use today is Toon 2 Band. As you can see, it already looks pretty good so far. So, you can mess with the tint to make it darker or brighter, and minimum brightness is how much how bright it can be at the minimum, and the shadow boost is how bright the shadow is. Limit brightness keeps everything under a specific amount, but honestly, if you don't want it to be dark, then I'd have it off. And then emission, hue shift, hot collision, detail, specular, matte cap, rim lighting, all of this you're probably not going to need besides rim lighting, because all of these are for specific mapping textures that we don't have for Sparking Zero. So, once you have this, you can select the rest of them and apply the same thing. And now we have pretty much all of our matte caps. So, what we're going to do is, you can see there's shaded bits on the model that I showed you how to do with Vertex Paint to save materials. We cannot use Vertex Painting with Toon Standard, unfortunately. So, if you want to maintain these shaded bits for Quest and not have it looking like this, you have to create new materials so you can have the skin shaded bits, like here. So, once you've started on that, you can start making the rest of the materials. And the easiest way to check if you've forgotten something or left something out when you're changing materials is you double click on the mesh, or what mesh you're trying to verify, and it'll get this orange outline, which shows you've selected it and not just the package. Then you can scroll down here and you'll see your materials. Most likely it'll be closed, but you can open it up, and then you have the list of all your materials here, and then you have the list of all the materials that are currently on it down here. So sometimes you'll see that some of them will say Arc System on it, or any other PC shader that you don't want. Just select the material here and bring it up. You'll see the name Material 1, and you can bring it up here and you'll find Material 1, and then you can drag it up on there and you'll have it fixed. And as we will apply the materials, you'll notice that he's losing his outline because Toon Standard's outline shader simply does not work for Quest. The outline variant of Toon Standard is only supported on PC. You can upload a mobile avatar using it, but the outlines won't show. And as you can see, when you apply the eye material, it will make it shaded along with the rest of the body. And you remember with Arc System, we didn't want that. So the best way to replicate it is changing this material to Toonlit. So now it is not really affected by the lighting around it, and it doesn't have shaded bits like that. So it is just purely a solid color. After all the materials are applied, pretty much you're done. Fizzbone wise, they won't be able to pop up on Quest because the limit that VRChat has on Fizzbones is, I believe, 8. I'm not sure. Let me check. Yeah, the maximum is 64 Fizzbone transforms, but the components, there's 28, as you can see here, but the maximum is 8 for Fizzbone. So, if you ever want to have Fizzbones for a Sparking avatar, you're probably going to have to create your own custom hair armature, so it can have one solid bone throughout the whole thing, or one master bone that controls all of them just with one, instead of having a bunch of small increments for smaller movements, which is unfortunate, but it's just VRChat. And once you're done with that, it should be all done. And just like that, we're done. As you can see, the alert is gone, and nothing here is keeping us from uploading to Quest. So we can hit build and publish, and that's it. Conveniently, the avatar is too large for the target platform. 45 megabytes to 40. 40 is the maximum cap for Quest uploads. So, luckily for me, I was hoping I got this so I can actually demonstrate how to compress things easily, it is too big. So, let me show you how to fix that. You go to where your model is found, and the biggest compression is going to model and going to mesh compression. Typically, I'd make this low or medium. High begins to mess up the faces and the vertices on the avatar, so I just wouldn't mess with that. So you could do medium. Now, as you can see, there's no real quality deficit there. And on top of that, you can take these textures here, especially since they're solid colors, like you can exclude these because they're not. You can click the Android icon, override for Android, max size, and you can make this all the way down to the 32, because it doesn't matter how small the pixels are, it's a solid color, so there's no quality deformation or distortion. And now, you should be able to upload. And as you can see, it's uploaded. So now, we can go into VRChat and check it out. Shaders for both. You absolutely do not have to have PC-only shaders and then make a separate build for Quest. You can use the outline tutorial and have an outline and have the shaders exactly like Arc System does without using Arc System. I just prefer using it. So, you can absolutely use your own shaders and your own ideas, be creative, and be free with your models. Now, as you can see, the model is unscathed on PC, and it is compatible with Quest. You've uploaded it. Have a great day. See you guys later.